I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First item on the agenda is to approve our agenda.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. This time we'll open the meeting up for any public comment from anyone in-house or out there online, on the phone, that would like to address the commission this morning. Seeing none, we will move on. First reading of ordinance 255, amends portions of Title IV zoning.
Notice of hearing of the Brown County Commission regarding amendment to Brown County Ordinance Title IV, amending portions of the Title IV zoning, Chapter 4.14 Highway Commercial District and Chapter 4.15 Light Industrial District.
All right, is there anyone here to speak to ordinance 255? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve first reading.
Move. Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, second reading and possible adoption of 4 ordinances.
Ordinance 251, an ordinance amending Title IV Second Revision, Brown County Ordinance as amended to rezone certain described properties, filed by John Sippel, to go from Egg Preservation District to Mini Egg District.
Is there anyone here to speak to ordinance 251? This is second reading and possible adoption. Entertain a motion to approve.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Ordinance 252, an ordinance amending Title IV Second Revision, Brown County Ordinance as amended to rezone certain described properties, filed by Jerry and Connie Dries, going from Egg Preservation District to Mini Egg District.
Is there anyone here to speak to ordinance 252? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Move.
Motion by Dennert.
Second.
Second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Ordinance 253, an ordinance amending Title IV Second Revision, Brown County Ordinance as amended to rezone certain described properties, filed by Carrie and Sonia Nielsen, from Egg Preservation District to Lakefront Residential District.
Is there anyone here to speak to ordinance 253? Seeing none, entertain a motion to approve.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Dennert. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Ordinance 254, an ordinance amending Title IV Second Revision, Brown County Ordinance as amended to rezone certain described properties, filed by William O. Edwards, going from Egg Preservation District to Mini Egg District.
Is there anyone here to speak to ordinance 254? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move.
Motion by Dennert,
Second.
second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, approve and authorize the chairman to sign the Local Emergency Management Performance Grant Agreement for 2024. There's a copy in the packet. It's our annual performance grant.
Move.
Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Feldheim. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, Dirk Rogers, Highway Superintendent, right away for Webb Water, purchase culverts off Beetle County bid, and department update. Morning, Dirk.
Hello, friends. How are you guys?
Doing well, and you?
On time. I got up early today so I could get a good start.
Bonus.
The first thing I got here is from Webb Water. It's right-of-way occupancy to run new service into a house that's being built right across the street from the Scandinavian Church, right there on that corner before it drops down. And they're going to bore under the road and then go along in the ditch. What's that?
On the right.
Yep, it's up before. It's actually, I'm like, can't believe no one built the house there before, because it's a nice spot. Till winter, but.
Move.
Yeah. Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Feldheim. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Buy some culverts.
Yes. I would like to recommend that we buy off of the Beetle County bid. Did she send any of that to you, Lynn?
No.
If you want, I can resend you a digital copy if that's better, but everything should be in there.
We've done that for a few years.
I just wanna add that we hadn't for a year because of the steel prices increase, and we kinda looked at, we've used some plastic, and we also have some concrete that, old things are new again because of the pricing, so we rounded up that stuff, and you'll see an assortment of them in the next couple of years as we, do that, but I got to the point that, we couldn't work around it any longer, and then with the Elm Lake project up there, we purchased the culverts and the state will reimburse us for them, so
Okay.
that's why we're.
Move.
Thank you.
Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Dennerts. Is that company now called True North? The
Yeah.
culvert company out of here? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Just some stuff we're doing. We're moving along with our FEMA. We had one of our meetings. Boy, I like FEMA and I like that assistance, but if that isn't a pictograph of the federal government run amok, it's just not, I can't even keep the goddamn acronym straight, However, they're very helpful, and I know people's names, and I know who to call, so we're fine. And we're gonna do our site visits next Tuesday. As we sit here today, the Road 16B, which is just below where I said that right-of-way is still underwater. We've got 60 days for it to come out of water, and it would be way better if it was out of water right now, but it looks like it'll be out soon. The river did drop 8 inches this week, so 25's out of water. 16B still has a little bit on it, so technically, when you go out and look at it, it's gonna be an inundated road still, and we don't really want it to be an inundated road because it creates a bunch more layers, with FEMA. And then, of course, the Hall Crossing, we'll be looking, those are our 3 sites. Now, all 3 of them, we're gonna explore a little deeper than we have in the past for some mitigation things. There's mitigation program, without going too far out in the weeds, there's one with the federal government and different criteria, and if that doesn't work, then there's also a similar mitigation program through the state, through emergency management. I don't know what you're gonna be able to do on 16B and 25, because there's old structures down there that kinda are I mean, if you raise the road up, then the water at some point is just gonna go over the bridge, and we also know how receptive folks are upstream to having restrictions downstream, so.
But it needs to be lower,
Yes, yeah, we don't want more gates and stuff, but, so we'll see I don't know that there's a good solution there. It might just be, this is what it is, without doing something just obnoxiously aggressive and expensive. The Hall Crossing, on the other hand, I think you have more opportunities there for some different options because of what it is for mitigation, and some of that's, depending on what you end up doing, it can go anywhere from 75 to 100% paid for, so I don't wanna say absolute worst case scenario, but if we can come up with something there that works, we would most likely only be responsible for 25% of it, so. But as you all have been looking at the weather, that hurricane that's gonna plow into Florida, I'm guessing that our little spring event's gonna become a little less of a priority. I don't know, in the past, we've always been made whole for the most part, but there will be a staffing impact if a big hurricane hits Florida with FEMA. I mean, it's the way it is.
They're
The
working.
Hall Crossing, it narrows up so bad there. Has anybody ever looked at expanding that and widening that, or is that gonna be something that you can't do?
Like
When it
on
comes
the
around
channel,
that bend, it narrows so bad, and then if you plug that, then it goes back behind the Hall farm. I mean, it's just a tough place to be, and it almost looks to me like if they would just widen it out, when it comes to that narrow part, would be
You're saying like the channel?
right,
Yeah.
widen the channel and let the water, it comes out wide and it does this, well, what happens when it does that? It takes our culverts out and everything, is there a possibility of just trying to widen that out and see if that does it? Because, I mean, we do this, every 2 years?
Oh, yeah. 3 years ago, we did it 3 times, when they let the water out of the Elm. Basically, anytime the water doesn't come out of the Elm Lake the way it's supposed to, whether that's snow buildup or the projects, but anyway, yes, you're right. Well, it's almost obnoxious how frequently we're back in there. that'll be something we'll explore. Just pitching from the hip is we're gonna have to distract the environmental folks while we're doing that, but, we'll...
Can't you have FEMA do that?
Yeah, well, so, but, we're joking a little bit, but I'm not even gonna go into some of the other things that they came up with yesterday, and I was sitting there going, they wanted to inject the water down to the bedrock, and I'm like, what? I go, the water table's where the river is. I mean, the glacier came through, scraped along the bedrock, and what we got left is mud, which is good for growing corn, but I'm like, the rivers there's nowhere else to put the water. It's a very strange conversation, but yeah, some places they inject it. They inject runoff into, not into the aquifer necessarily, but into the gravel layer that's down there. Well, we don't have that here. There was a map up here about that somewhere. I might have taken it down.
map, yeah.
But anyway,
So the
But
suspension
everything-
bridge is out?
not necessarily. I mean, if you make it 8 foot wide and call it a bike trail, we'll get funding in a week. I mean, okay. So that's FEMA, it'll be fine, we'll get it fixed, the things, and yes, like, I mean, I truly mean that, we're gonna go into looking at some alternatives a little more than we have in the past, especially if they'll pay for it.
Sure.
But like you said, it's something that's reoccurring. Is there a more permanent solution? We've talked about it. It's
Sure.
a tough nut to crack with something.
It is.
Consistent.
It'll happen again next spring if it snows this
Yeah.
winter.
Yep.
Or we get a 1 inch rain today, it could happen again.
Yeah,
It is.
you never know.
We hopped over, we're paving about 2 miles on 18 south of Houghton, and the Houghton constituency stopped in yesterday and told me that it was good, so, and then we're gonna chip seal that, and it looks like we're jumping around a lot, but part of it was got awful wet up at Elm Lake. I know that people are going in there and fishing, but, we got more cleanup up there, and we have a bunch to haul in and haul out, but that's going pretty well. And then the last thing we'll do is go back to Road 16, because we can pave a lot later in the year, so that'll be one of the last things we do, is that.
What's 5 looking like?
5's okay, I'm not super excited about the ride. I know one of the local taxpayers was wound up about them laying it in 1 lift as opposed to 2 lifts. As long as they get their compaction, I'm okay with 1 lift. I brought the test, I mean, I checked it, they're getting compaction, and then the air voids are low enough that they're in spec, which would indicate that it's getting packed down, so I don't know, it seems to be okay. The ride, it leaves a little to be desired. We don't have a ride spec on it, so we'll just kinda see where that lands.
When you say the ride, you're not satisfied with the ride, what do you mean?
Smoothness?
As far as-
Yeah, how smooth it is. It should be smoother.
But it's not gravel, so that should...
Well, yeah, I know, and that's, again, like you've heard me say before.
All
we got-
relative.
we have to also be careful that you don't, well, this is a terrible rationalization, and I hope people understand what I'm saying. But you can't afford perfect all the time, and you can't, and I'm not saying I don't even like how I got to this conversation, but a lot of people let perfect be the enemy of good, and when good's what you can afford and different things like that. But, yes, if we were doing it, I would like it to be a little smoother, but we'll see if it's a section, if it's... The other thing that I did here that I normally don't do, that I wish I wouldn't have, well, I shouldn't say I wish I wouldn't have, but if we prepare a grade for a road, like we do the sub-base work, I want us to pave on it, because the last time we didn't do that, where someone else did the grade and we paved, or vice versa, we built the grade and someone else paved, if there's any problems, it's always the county's fault. So I usually like to have the contractor do the prep work and the paving, and then have us do the prep work and the paving, but...
Whoever did it owns it.
Exactly. And then, 'cause it's, and you'll see in my 5-year plan, I'm thinking the county's gonna be able to do the majority of what I have coming up, because we're gonna do a little more microsurfacing, and some things like that, so we'll shift a little more money to microsurfacing and, well, the economy's gonna dictate that, but...
Right.
We are gonna have some bigger, microsurface projects coming up, because I like how they've been doing.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Since you brought up ride quality in the 5-year plan, I
Yep.
had somebody ask me where in the plan the 12W is at, any improvements to that. Because it's not coming apart, but it's been fixed, patched, and it's
Yep.
getting...
It's on the radar, I'm surprised I don't have it in there.
So, I just had somebody ask me the other day where we're at with future
Well, it
plans
will,
for that, so...
it will be in the 5-year plan. Whether or not I'd have, I haven't looked at it to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna overlay the whole thing, or this segment's good enough and can be salvageable, but...
Because that's another one of those where it's like, okay, once you dig into it, how far do you go? Do you go into it, and you fix the widen the shoulders, and...
Honestly, if you'd asked me that 15 or 20 years ago, my opinion on those roads 1 mile off the state highways, I mean, but...
Probably 10, always
Yeah, I
10.
know, but the reality of that is,
They're
I
not,
know.
the traffic's not going
Well,
right.
what you say now? I know, so anyway.
There'll be one car going north here.
We're still on sprint, we think.
But I mean, the reality of that is, it kinda looks like we've lost that battle. With, your guys' road accepted or whatever, but, I mean, we've reinvested in the Warner Road because it's got 1,800 cars on it, and 12W, I tried to make it a complete piece of crap, and that didn't help. I mean, they drove through gravel and potholes filled with gravel and still just bitched, and it's okay, I shouldn't put it that way, it's just...
That's why we put the connection in there, when they put the overpass,
Exactly.
and realigned the state highway in there.
Instead of going to a US highway,
It's the shortest route, and it's gonna get taken.
No, I get it, but...
So anyway, it was just brought up as,
So, to answer your question, like I said, I'm not even BSing you, I'm surprised they don't have it on there, but, yeah.
Note to
get in
self.
there. Yeah, we'll put it in there, I'm working on that stuff right now, actually gonna go look at a little bit of it today.
Okay.
I think that's all I got, unless you guys have something, and I would like, exec for personnel if you got time.
We do.
Did,
On everything else, go ahead.
did you guys do anything on 16 there, just north of Bath, on the shoulder yet?
We looked at it.
You said you looked at it.
No, I know, that's why I'm trying to, yes, I don't know if we did or not, it took me a minute to remember
I just
what
got
it
another
was.
text this morning. so
Same guy?
that's good. Yeah.
The only other thing I had is I talked to you about the request to lower the speed limit there around the curve,
Yes.
east of Wiley. Did you take a look at that?
I did. I'm trying to... I had a little more trouble, first off, as I've said before, I'm always for lowering speed limits. I don't understand what that one's accomplishing, that's the only thing. I mean, is it it's gotta be the traffic coming from the east, and then they're going too fast before they come to the curves.
That's the way they made it sound, yes.
And did they say they wanted that down to a 35?
Yes.
I'll look at it again, I just, when we went out there and looked at it, I was like, if you put it 30, it seems to me it'd already be slowing down, but I don't live there, so we'll take a look at it.
It would stand to reason that you'd be slowed down for a double curve there, but,
a reasonable
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
True.
Some of us feel it as a challenge.
Yeah, you remember what it was like before we flattened the curve out? I mean, that thing used to be 290s.
Yeah.
Well, even if you had a sign that just had the curve with the 35 below it,
Yeah, that might work.
like you've got, on...
Because there's a couple driveways and a couple street
Yeah.
access points there that
Yeah.
get a little blind and get surprised.
Not like I was against it, but it wasn't as cut and dried as when you're like, okay, we're going down the straight road, here's where the houses start.
Right.
So, but, yeah, we can look at it.
Yeah.
As long as Lynn doesn't mind changing the speed limit ordinance every week.
So we're putting a roundabout in.
Yeah. Hey, I'm for it.
There you go.
I'm all for it. So
We're having a good time.
That'll
right?
slow them down.
Yeah. All right, if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for personnel.
We'll move it. Second. Whatever.
Motion by Denner, second by Weiss, to go into executive session for...
Nothing personal.
Personnel and...
That's what the rules are, man.
It'll be quick, you don't have to go away.
All in
Yeah,
favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay,
It'll
motion
be
carries.
quick.
lights back on, we're back in session out of exec with no action as a result. Morning, Rachel.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
Good, give us just a minute to get logged back in here.
You want me to dial back in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a very important issue coming up this week.
Please enter
We
your
want the world to hear
access
it.
followed by the pound or hash sign. The access code you entered is invalid. You
Oh,
entered
geez.
6011688. Please re-enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign.
Okay.
You entered no digits.
I won't touch
Please
it.
re-enter your
I have one
access code
definitely
followed by
every
the
time.
pound or hash sign.
Touching. Okay.
But Commissioner Felton, you have a really nice haircut, you look good.
I'm under pressure here, come on.
The access code you entered is invalid. You entered
We're gonna just redial this thing and start all here.
I'm looking at cows.
Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign.
See if we can get an old rotary dial, they were pretty happy.
9-1.
Well, you're going back about.
40 years?
I'd be gentle with that.
To enable audio control, please enter your
How do you
audio
get there now?
PIN followed by the pound or hash sign. If you do not have a PIN, just press pound or hash.
We're there.
All right, we're back live. Next up, Rachel Kipley.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was just here to discuss, in the summer of 2022, we had put out an RFP and entered into a contract with Winterset Concerts for a 3-year period to do our booking for the grandstand entertainment. In that contract, Section 9 perhaps is in your packet, but we have the option to terminate the remainder of the contract and any remaining obligations if we do so in writing within 60 days. So the board would like to terminate that contract. They just weren't happy with the service this year. Great company, but we were a little disappointed in the options as far as routing. There wasn't a lot of routing with this company that we could kind of piggyback off of. And with our limited, about $450,000 is what we have for booking artists for the grandstand. For 4 nights of concert, they just thought it would be nice to open it up and look at a different booking agent. So that's kind of what I'm coming here, is to ask if you guys would get us out of that contract and allow us to RFP it, and I do have that RFP ready to go again.
We did condense your letter a little bit based on the advice of the state's attorney's office, so we revised it slightly, eliminated the first paragraph, but otherwise it's the information that you wanted in there, so.
Sounds great.
So that's the Fair Board's wishes and
It
recommendations?
sure is.
So
Yep.
moved.
Okay, motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Denner to approve the termination of the contract with Winterset. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And then to continue on with that, it's the same language as what we had before, kind of stressing, you know, in the RFP, let us know what current venues you're already booking for, what routing opportunities are out there, allowing us to get the biggest bang for our buck when we do book our entertainment. And I guess I would ask if we're able to do that RFP and advertise it today so that we could open it up as soon as you guys get back from convention on September the 19th. A lot of venues are already booking a full year out, so the quicker we can do it, the better.
Would agree. Entertain a motion to approve the RFP.
Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss to approve the RFP. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, well, we survived another fair. I'll have some numbers here in the next couple weeks and put those together for you, but, I mean, we had beautiful weather and the turnout for volunteers, folks in the community really stepped up. It was huge, so we're excited about another good year, but I'll get you some specifics here in the next couple weeks.
Very good. Job well done again.
Thank you.
Thank you to the
Thank
Fair
you.
Board for all their efforts and your staff.
I'll do that. Take
All
care.
right, thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
All right, next up, our consent calendar.
Approval of the journal meeting minutes from August 22nd.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move.
Motion by Weiss. Second by Dennert. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move. Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Abatements/refunds of property taxes.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
An amended auditor's report of accounts for June of 2023.
Move.
Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Feldheim. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any other business to come before the Brown County Commission this morning? I know we've had a request by HR to go into exec for personnel and possibly contracts.
I can do a legal.
Legal, okay.
Move.
Motion by Weiss.
Second.
Second by Dennert to go into executive session. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are in exec.